Guys, welcome back to another video. This is another video suggestion or sort of suggestion from another tragedy that happened in the US history, which I mean, god damn, it doesn't end. There's so many different just tragedies, like sort of events, natural disasters that have happened even in the last just like 30, 40 years, like never mind 100, 150 years, like even more than that. And it's just crazy how you have like earthquakes, you have like fires, you have tornadoes, like just these storms, and people are even suggesting other things like I think I don't actually know if it was, is it like hailstorms and stuff like that? Like I swear someone said there's been hailstorms where some of that sort of the hail balls, whatever they're called, hailstones or whatever they're called, have been like huge, like sort of sizes you wouldn't really imagine. Plus other things like volcanic eruptions. It's never ending with natural disasters in the US, and this is another one that, again, I've never really experienced an earthquake in my life. And I know in the US, is it the San Andreas fault? Let me just search it up. We're gonna read this after. And sorry, with like my sort of these sort of videos, I sort of like to research and look into it first. I think it's called the San Andreas fault. San Andreas fault is a continental transform fault that extends roughly 1,000. So that's basically the length of the UK. That's longer than the UK through California. It forms tectonic boundary between the Pacific Plate and the North American Plate, and its motion is a right lateral strike slip. And I mean, earthquakes is that magnitude 7.8, 5.7. And I know from what learning about the San Andreas fault in school, because it's one of those things that we learn about. I didn't remember learning about earthquakes in general, but just about the San Andreas fault. Like the sort of devastation that it can cause is ridiculous. I mean, we're looking at this. So this is the 1989 San Francisco earthquake, or the Loma Prieta. Sorry for my pronunciation. My pronunciation's awful. And it happened on 17th of October 1989, magnitude of 6.9, hit San Francisco Bay, killing 67 people, causing more than $5 billion in damages. The disaster is known as both as the San Francisco Oakland earthquake and the Loma Prieta earthquake because it was centered near Loma Prieta Peak in the Santa Cruz Mountains. I mean, you look at that damage. So that's equivalent to 11.6 to 12.4 billion damage today. Wow. I mean, let's just look at, I know this is irrelevant, but I want to look at the damage the Joplin tornado caused. So that's 2.8, 3.8 currently. So when you think about that, it's like 3 times. 3 to 4 times. But bro, that is ridiculous. And I'm going to react, basically, again, I'm going to react to the sort of the view from the baseball stadium. I don't know much about it, but people were suggesting like react to like the sort of the pundits talking when the earthquake happens. This is going to be the second part I react to, and this may get blocked. So what I'm going to do, it may not get blocked, which is fine, so I'll leave it in. But if it does get blocked, I'm going to leave a link in the description, and I'm going to leave a link in the comments. You click the link and you can watch the reaction to that part if it gets blocked. If it doesn't get blocked, you don't have to do that, but sometimes them sort of sport reactions do, so that's my bad. But I will post it on another site, and you literally just click the link and you watch it. It's that easy for those who are interested. But the first video we're doing is insane footage, San Francisco earthquake 1989. Says best clips, but I'm guessing it just sort of means the craziest footage. And yeah, let's get into this, man. This is something that I've never seen in my life. I don't think I've really ever seen earthquake footage. Maybe a few clips on Twitter here and there, like of people recording certain things, but I can't really remember seeing much footage to do with earthquakes. So we're going to see this and see the devastation it really causes, and hopefully you guys are going to enjoy. And yeah, hopefully the footage is good because it's very old. Oh jeez. Within an instant, within what, 3 seconds? My god. Oh my days. Oh no, that's the worst spot to be, where all that glass. In a store as well. What is the worst spot to be when an earthquake happens? I mean, I guess you want to be inside but under sort of like a table or something. Like, I don't really know how you can... Like, what you can do when an earthquake hits. Like, you don't really want to be in a store because there's going to be things flying about and, like, hitting you. But I don't really know where else you could really go. I guess these are just sort of those disasters where you're just sort of helpless and you can't really be 100%... Well, you can't be 100% safe. But it's just like... What do you do in this situation?
Oh my god, we're having an earthquake. Wait a minute. Hold on. Can you feel that?
Can you predict them or not?
Okay, this is interesting. There go the lights.
Oh, that's just sound footage. What?
911 emergency.
Yes, have you got
On a
word
bridge.
about the Bay Bridge?
What about the Bay Bridge? What's wrong with it?
Has it collapsed?
Appears to have collapsed during that earthquake.
Hold on a second.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
boy, the US is different, man. I can't even lie. That is... Oh my... We're a minute in and we're seeing stuff like this. Oh my god. Is this even going to be safe to post on YouTube?
Everything went dark and then the generators caught, and so we had partial light. And we had to figure out what to do, where to go, what was happening, how bad was it. We knew that we had to get on the air.
We're over the Bay Bridge
What?
now, once again. A section of the upper deck has collapsed. There appears to be a rescue helicopter on the upper deck. Where it collapsed, it just missed the bus.
George Watson is standing by right now in San Francisco, where they took the brunt of this earthquake today. George,
There's fires now.
In gridlock. I hate to paint a dire picture, but it's the kind of scenario where you see looting happening sometime in the night.
It's been a frightening scene here. As you can see just below me is where 50-foot section.
The reporters are just standing there. Is that safe to be standing next to where it's just collapsed? I mean, they did it and I assume they were fine, but I would not have the balls to do that. I'll be honest with that, bro. I would not have the balls to do that.
You see down there below the two cars that were on the upper deck.
I need an ambulance. Hold on, Andreas. You stay on.
Prepare yourselves. Shut off the gas. Shut off electricity. Store water in your bathtub. Don't expect services for 72 hours.
Now, the
Wow.
important thing to remember is check your gas mains. That is the first and most important thing you have to do in case of a gas leak. You don't want to run the risk of a fire. Ana Chavez has just come in. Ana, do you have some late information coming
We
on
are
here?
just getting reports from our crews on the scene that there is a major fire.
There are some fires, obviously, in the city of San Francisco. Again, as we take a look at that, that appears to be what would be the Marina District.
The entire upper deck of the Cypress structure, that is the section of highway that connects the Bay Bridge
Look
to
at that.
Highway 880. It just seemed to collapse during the shaker. You could see those ripples in the road. I'm guessing, but what I am afraid of, and the information we seem to be getting seems to confirm this, that those ripples in small part are caused by vehicles trapped underneath. We have no
My
idea how
God.
many vehicles were trapped underneath. If you could see how violent that shaking must have been.
Because of our power outages and wire services are not coming in with other reports.
Well, we're told that this earthquake today was measured at between 6.5 and 7 on the Richter scale.
Our failure, therefore the game will be postponed. We ask that you hold on.
I'm going to look at this footage
We have
next
been
properly.
told that there
The
was been
basement
some
footage.
dramatic rescues in the area. This is what you're looking at right now, the Cypress structure. People have risked their lives to crawl up under those two compact pieces
My
of highway to find survivors, and they have brought people out alive.
What?
We were told that this person in here now that they're going for, and we don't know if this is a family or if this is one person, but we are told that there is someone alive right here. We will keep you in touch with what's going on, and we'll let you know, of course, if they are able to pull this person out of here alive, and we'll let you know if we get any firm figures on anything. At this point, we have not been able to.
All right, Leslie, we'll be coming back with you as soon as you have some more information for us.
Wow.
Thank you very much for that live report. That was Leslie Griffith reporting live. We are getting a report now. At least 50 people are dead tonight because of this earthquake.
Bro, look at this devastation. I've never seen anything like this in my life. Like, I've never seen anything like cause this kind of damage. Is this seen as the worst earthquake in US history then? Because I mean, looking at this and you just see the chaos that it's caused. It's just crazy how it can just turn like structures into jelly, just make it so brittle. It's just wild to me, man. We're 4 minutes in.
I think all of us find something in us when there's a crisis to just continue. And we continue to have aftershocks while we were on the air. And I would roll with them. And people in Marin County, as soon as I would see it on the air, they'd feel them a few seconds later. So folks in the South Bay who are watching us would feel them, we'd feel them here, and then it would kind of roll northward.
You can see this block of Divisadero is practically entirely on fire. The house on the right is the first one that went, and it went because of a natural gas.
The media were among the few prepared for this earthquake.
Are you still stressed out over the quake? Well, don't feel alone.
Television took over when government emergency radios failed.
I think in the first few hours after the earthquake, there was really no other source of information besides TV and a few radio stations. People were largely without power in some of the areas.
That's a good point, actually.
Even in areas where the power was back on, they knew enough about the size of the earthquake by then to know that they didn't want to get out on the streets. We were urging people to stay home. The phones were jammed. In some cases, the phones were out for several hours.
That's a good point. Like, there's no internet back in these days. There's no sort of phones, like sort of electronic devices that you can use to sort of look on Twitter what's going on and all these different things. I can't imagine how people would have like sort of found out about news. I guess it's like through fire services and the police and the news, but again, a lot of people didn't have power, so how you would have got your sort of like how you would have found out what was truly going on, like how horrific the earthquake was. I mean, you could probably just see outside if you lived in San Francisco and sort of witness and look at how devastating it was, but to like find out the details, you probably would have been clueless for days, maybe weeks.
People were isolated from friends, relatives, co-workers, and television became a sort of little village for everybody. They could keep in touch with what was going on in the rest of the Bay Area, get some idea of who might be in danger, where the damage was, and the areas that were okay.
Again, I guess until you come down here, you don't realize how incredibly devastating this earthquake was. How did you get out?
By the window.
You climbed out the fire escape?
No, I didn't. People climbed for me and brought me down.
Wow.
That in a sense, we were the conduits for not only people learning that, but the experts who had to go out later and kind of followed our trail.
I can only describe the situation here as nightmarish. The entire city, at least the part of the city that I have been in all day, is completely blacked out. There are no traffic lights. Civilians, if you were, are trying to direct traffic. People are wandering the streets aimlessly. It is a horrible, sickening feeling to be in the city. I could only advise people to not come here under any circumstances.
At dawn the next morning, teams of investigators went to assess the damage, while seismologists began to locate the exact origin of the earthquake.
There is the house down the hill. Or what's left of it, shall we say.
The movement of the earth had buckled roads and curbs.
What? Look at that.
As seismologists searched for where the fault had ruptured, engineers were to find damage that eventually was to total $10 billion. $10
billion.
The supporting columns of a bridge had punched through the roadway, so violently was the ground shaken.
What? Oh my God.
The center of the earthquake was found 60 miles south of San Francisco.
How does the US deal with these kinds of tragedies? I don't know. It's crazy.
The Santa Cruz Mountains had wrenched themselves 6 feet to the north and ripped open the earth along a 25-mile segment of the San Andreas Fault.
So it just alters things for like that, bro.
There was no indication of a shake. There was just the initial boom, and everything When?
He was thrown to his right, and I was thrown to my left. So.
You ended up on the floor.
Oh yeah.
Each time.
And it was like riding a roller coaster. It was just kind of like this. It was just a real rocking and rolling and like this. It was really a rocking and rolling.
It all happened so fast. I mean, it takes longer to explain it, but it happened so fast. The crack opened up about 3 feet, and a lot of my tools and everything else flushed. They all bounced right into it. It's like everything was headed right towards that crack. The center of vibration was pushed all towards that crack. And then it shut back up. It shut back to about 1.5 to 2 foot. And it's kind of a thing, you know, I've never seen it happen before. I've heard it doesn't happen, but I watched it happen.
Geologists reported that the ground had shaken for a surprisingly short time.
So this map shows where the earthquake occurred, about a 25...
Het bouwen van moderne steden alleen al is genoeg om het klimaat plaatselijk te veranderen.
I don't understand what you're saying. What the hell has happened here?
Predictable future in the surrounding
that?
mountain terrain. The canine fraternity has also taken to the streets. Every section of the community has been doing its bit to raise the volume of the debate. And in true American style, no campaign is complete unless there's a t-shirt to celebrate it. Restaurants have been doing a brisk trade in grizzly ice creams, all profits to the bear. For local school children, he's a source of inspiration. Thousands have signed the petition asking local mountain rangers to leave well alone. But the star of the drama is feigning indifference.
Is that even... I think he's just on tape that's just sort of showed something random at the end. But this was crazy, man. And we're going to see this one now. Like I said at the start of the video, if this gets blocked out now, I'm going to post a link in the description and in my comment section, because the sport clips that involve sport always seem to get blocked. So if this just cuts out to the end of the video, click the link in the description and you can watch me react to this now. Hopefully it doesn't, and maybe what I'm saying now is meaningless because it will be posted. But if it isn't posted, just know, link in the description and comments. The pinned comment with the link, just click that and you can watch this reaction. But let's get into this one, man. I'm interested about this, bro. I ain't ever seen anything like that in my life. I feel like it's gonna get blocked because it like had ABC and all this sort of stuff. So again, I'm probably gonna have to post this on my Daily Motion, but I've never seen anything like this in my life. And what happened? Did they play like because surely they had to wait like weeks to play this game or to finish or to play game 3, because in San Francisco there was all this devastation. I can't see how they would have played this game days after or weeks after. It would have to be at least a month, maybe longer. 30 years after Los Angeles takes its turn with a 7.1 at night. Imagine watching this from a different state and thinking, wait, what the hell is happening? Exactly, that's the thing. It just sort of cuts out and then it's just, you just come back to people screaming. I was born about 6 hours later. My mum's water broke a little bit after the earthquake hit. My mum's joke, the earthquake broke her water. For God's sake. 4:37, I'll tell you, we're having an earth. Just cuts out. But my God, this was wild, man. And again, if this just cut out, click the link in the description so you can watch this part of the reaction. I mean, hopefully it doesn't get blocked, but I have a feeling that it will. But my God, this is one of the craziest things I've seen. This and the last video, the stuff that happened during this earthquake are mind-blowing. The US goes through some damn stuff, and I tell you what, some of the disasters are ridiculous. I can't imagine going to a game of like football or baseball or whatever, and then an earthquake hitting. That's just like the crazy thing. And I mean, props to the people who made the stadium. I mean, there's no other sort of strength test than an earthquake, right? So the fact that that didn't end in like tragedy, because if that went wrong, thousands of people would have lost their lives. So that's the scariest part to me, but also the best part, that a lot of people were kept safe because of the earthquake. But still, man, that's crazy. And I mean, yeah, crazy reaction, crazy suggestion. Is there any more things like this that you'd like me to see? Because from what I've seen in this was ridiculous. But it was also incredible to see sort of like how, well, not see, but to sort of understand how the stadium managed to withstand the strength. But yeah, this was a crazy earthquake. And I don't know, again, much about earthquakes that have happened in the past, but if there's any more things like this you'd like me to see, suggest in the comments. and I'll be sure to do so in future. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this reaction, and until next time, like, subscribe, peace.